This is Fam Electric Ghost doing live on the air with Ray Star for the first time. Welcome to the Fam Electric Ghost podcast. How you doing?
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Well, we love to talk to artists. That's been our jam for a long time, and doing live podcast interviews, which we think are authentic and to the point. And yeah, you've been a guitarist, a record producer, psychic. You're 16 years clean and sober, and you've been toured with bands like Green Day and co-produced on NBC's Real Music Live. And now you're sharing your stories about creativity and transformation. So welcome to the show again.
Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. I very appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, it's been a road. It's been a road, that's for sure. I've been lucky enough to be sharing my story with quite a few people. And I try to uh, inspire others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have had a go in life. That's for sure.
Well, it's part of the creative life is like we tend to kind of be outside the bell curve, right? If you're an artist, you tend to take risks because it's the nature of being a creative. But sometimes you kind of push it. So over time, you get these lessons learned from the edge,
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I always joke to people that aren't musicians, I go, it's easy as hell to write a song, you just got to slit your wrists and bleed all over the paper.
It's the vulnerability. I mean, the whole point of being an artist is we can dive into our vulnerability.
Yeah.
And then
Very
we
much
can
so.
put it out, but then sometimes there's a cost to that, and you might not realize it. If you're a young musician and you're out there, you might not understand the cost of being that transparent, right? And then bearing your soul and then not having any kind of boundaries,
Yep.
then maybe you start not understanding like, oh, there's a cost to this.
Very much so. There is a cost to it for sure. It's it the worst points in my life were with music and the best points in my life were with music, but one thing was always constant was music.
Mhm.
You try to explain this to somebody that isn't a musician, it's like it's not something that we choose to do.
Yeah, we
It
have
does
to.
us. Like, you
Yeah,
have to, no
yeah.
matter what. It'll take you to your death. You can't stop. If you're a true musician, it's not because, "Oh, I'm chasing fame," or whatever. No, it's you can't not do it. It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
Well, it
I d
speaks to you. I mean, a lot of times people are phenoms. Like you find people are starting like they're 5 years old. Like
Yep,
somebody they got introduced just to a piano. They got interested their voice, so it triggered them to explore the idea or the permission structure that you could get into music.
yep,
And once you've got that bug, if you're not one of these people that is looking for fame and fortune, that's looking to echo like I'm a child of the '70s and all the kids want to be Kiss, you
yep,
know, everybody
yep,
wanted to be Zepp, you
yep,
know, and then if you couldn't do it, then they gave it up. But the people who actually were musicians, we're still doing it today.
'cause you can't stop.
And you can't stop.
You
Like
can't
if
stop.
it's real, you don't. Your Les Paul's not sitting in the basement.
No, 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 I can't. I don't know about you, but, it's not hard to date. It's not it's not easy for, women to date someone like me. Like, I sleep with my guitar sometimes in my bed.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a Hendrixian type of thing. Yeah,
yeah,
like because Hendrix was known, like for being so serious that he had his like Strat, and Telecasters, like they were in his bed.
yeah,
It's
no,
like a real thing.
it sleeps beside me sometimes just because in case I get a riff at 2 o'clock in the morning, there it is,
Well,
you
I'm in
know?
my bedroom studio and I got my Moogs and Rollins right behind me.
You know all about it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. And the other thing is like when something comes, like I always say, like, if I sit down and write or go, I'm gonna write a song today. I'm gonna write a hit. It's garbage. It's like those moments at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go, oh my god, that's it. And I got to grab something. Like,
Yeah. Well, you get this download, right? It's like
yeah.
the idea the Victorians had that name for it, the muse. Like,
Ah,
the
yes,
Victorian poets, you got the guys, like, you got like, you get into Blake, Wordsworth, Tennyson, all those guys, right? But they're
yeah,
kinda like the rock stars at that time because they were looking into themselves. They had this idea, looking glass self,
yes,
and then they put it into their work, and it was vulnerable, but they had code words for sex, little death
yep.
is sex. But
Okay,
they had to say it in that way because, people were prudish. But they would have code and deeper meaning, and they would be talking about these things, and then the other people around them like, "Oh, what are they talking about?" But they actually were revealing things through their
yeah,
art, which is what we do as artists.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is I always tell people like some are such perfectionists they won't release any music. It's like it's got to be absolutely perfect or it's not going. And I'm a firm believer if you are given it, it's meant to be shared, no
Well,
matter
it's
what
kind of
it
like
is.
that Neil
And get
Young
it out. You know?
thing. Like when you ever heard of like the Ditch trilogy idea from Neil? Like
No.
he had done like a Harvest. He had
Okay.
been like Crosby, Still, Nash and Young, and he
Yeah.
had been in these bands where he worked on his voice. Like he could sing like with Crosby, Still, Nash and Young. He could do this very beautiful kind
Yeah.
of voice in these harmonies. And then he said, you know what? Like I was in it was at Harvest what gave me like the gold level stuff, the fame, and then I headed toward the ditch. Like so his ditch trilogy was Tonight's the Night, Time Fades Away, and On the Beach. And that's where those records were not what the public kind of wanted. He kind of is the
Yeah.
grandfather of like punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those records are kind of shaky. Those
Yep.
records have kind of ramshackle, shaky voice. Like seems like maybe the first take on some of those songs is like, but that was like the honesty of it. And there's a whole generation of like grunge and punk people were like, yeah, that's what we want. Like we want that vulnerability. We want that first take type of thing.
Yeah, well, was it that or was it budget? 'Cause
Yeah. Well, is it budget, right? I think he
like,
had the money though.
"We got $200. Can I cut an album?" They're like, "No, get out of here. Go go sweep the floors." Yeah, but, no, I agree with you. It's magic when that happens, like, today alone, I was just having a conversation, with somebody, like, you know, I'm a I'm we're spoiled nowadays, right? With like things like Pro Tools and Logic and all this stuff where,
Yeah.
like you can sit there and I could redo like a guitar solo for a song over and over and over till I get it so perfect,
And the
and
click track, you gotta
to
get
a click
totally on the
track.
track. You're totally on it.
Yeah, and I can overthink it, but there's some magic that happens when you're in a studio and it's costing a lot of money and there's a bunch of people looking at you and all this pressure and then go, "Ray, rip a
Do it
guitar
now.
solo. We need one right here." And it's
Do it
like, and you just go for it. And that's, I don't know how many times magic has caught me completely off guard because I didn't know what I was going to do. I just kind of let something flow. And then
Yeah.
I got to actually go back and learn what I actually played.
That's the magical thing. Like in jazz, fusion jazz
Mhm.
is kind of like is a place where that kind of lives. Is like this idea. Like Herbie
Yeah.
Hancock was talking about playing with Miles Davis,
Yeah.
and there's this famous like quote where he's like, he was interviewed and he said like I was playing with Davis, and I hit the wrong chord for the song, and I thought Davis was gonna kill him. He thought Davis was gonna kill him, and Davis actually like matched his chord and changed the song.
Oh, awesome.
And it's this idea of like the happy accident, like there's no bad note, there's an opportunity. And he actually like really dived into like you got to be present. You can't be like thinking about trying to make the song so perfect. Like be present in the moment and feel
Yep.
that moment
Yeah.
and actually do what that moment demands. And
Oh,
sometimes that's not you're not going to capture it exactly right again. And that's the magic of it.
oh, 150%. I like, one thing that I like to do, like, even when I'm doing bigger productions, like, we just did a pretty big production, right, on, actually my band, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but, like, we did live off the floor.
Mhm.
And, well, nobody records like this anymore, and, we should have really done some more pre-production and all this and blah, 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 all the stuff, like, I've done both sides,
Yeah.
where it's, for people that don't know, but, like, you can get into a zone where you're so overproduced that, as a producer, you'll tape off certain guitar strings. So then you only have two. So that you can't flub a wrong note. And then we're going to just play like, I just need you to play one bar. And then we'll go to the next bar and do that bar. And then
Yeah.
it's so overproduced. It's painful. And
Takes
it's
the
like,
life
well,
out of it. It takes the fun out of it. Like
oh,
if
it
you
totally does. It totally
yeah,
does. And yeah, you'll get on the radio and, the average person doesn't know what's really going on, but to me, it's dead inside.
yeah,
And I think of my favorite albums of all time, what inspired me to play, and those guys did live off the floor.
yeah.
And
Well, it's kinda like we were talking earlier, like, I was thinking about, like, Keith Richards.
yeah,
Like Keith Richards is probably hard to put into a DAW.
Oh,
Because the way he plays, it's like it's not, has that ramshackle, and it's on purpose, it's intentional, but it is something about like that Exile on Main Street kind of feel
yeah,
is kind of what a lot of bands like want to echo that, right? Maybe not today,
absolutely.
but there was a period where people did want to echo that, and
Yeah.
maybe not so much.
It was
But to
called
me,
Cocaine and Heroin, but
yeah, I get it, but there's something
yeah.
about that feel. It's like the
Oh,
country
yeah, absolutely.
fusion and
Yeah.
loose feel. It's like what like what I was talking about. Neil and Crazy Horse got it. Like if you're like a Husker Du,
Yep.
like a band like that had it, like early REM kind of, had this kind of feel. It's like, hey, this is original. This is a new idea.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to be like everybody else. We're using a Rickenbacker. Yeah, nobody's using that. So the
Yeah.
birds, nobody stop using it, because it
Yeah.
was the birds, tone. But
Yeah. No, I agree with you fully because there's some magic that you can't put on. There's no way to describe it. There's a magic when other musicians are feeding off other musicians. It becomes like one, and something comes out of that. And I can't really I can't
yeah,
explain it if I tried. If someone held a
it's like
gun to my head,
nonverbal communication. Like
yeah,
if we can get
basically.
a group that really syncs,
Mhm.
and you can just nod over to somebody, you nod to the drummer, you kind
And
of give
they
them a
and you know
glance.
where they're going before they get there, and they
Yeah.
know where you're going before you get there, and it's
I
amazing.
remember watching The Who. Like I was really enthralled with a Keith Moon and Entwistle, their dynamic,
Ugh. You
right?
just that's a favorite band of all time. That's the main reason I wanted to be a rock star
Yeah, but The
was
Who to
those
me is
guys.
like I love the Stones, but The Who really speak to me because I was like, here's these guys are like punks, but then they're doing progressive stuff like Quadrophenia and Tommy.
Yeah.
So they was kind of like this. They're fighting themselves, and
Yeah.
then each individual is trying to be a lead. Everybody's trying to play lead at all at once,
Yeah. Well, because
and
you basically got a band of all-stars. Like, who was a crappy musician there? Nobody. Everyone was, like, top notch, and
yeah, it is something dynamic about that because like, are they gonna fall apart? Or are
yeah.
they gonna stay together? And then watching Moon, I mean, he's trying to grab all the attention. He's the lead drummer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the adultery swinging that mic, he's the lead singer. He's like just as bad as any
Yeah.
other lead singer. He's got the open chest and he's out there like belting it out. And then Pete's windmilling.
Yeah.
And Entwistle's doing lead bass lines. There's like as complicated as any jazz guy. He's doing these
So good.
lead like
So
things that are
good.
like, oh my God. Like listen to him isolate Entwistle. And you're like, damn.
Isolate any of them, really.
Yeah, any of them is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Are you gonna catch catch them on this last tour?
No, I kinda I don't know. I kinda thought the Who without Entwistle, they kinda lost it for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
I
true.
saw them in Mass, like, at a football stadium when the Entwistle was still there when I was, like, in
Okay.
my 20s, and that
Oh,
was kinda
wow.
like, to me, and they ran through Tommy, like, at that stadium. I was like, "Damn, they actually playing Tommy," and I'm like I was just so enthralled because I was like, this kid in the '70s and actually get to see them. And, and I
Yeah.
was like, it's like that to me. I mean, I didn't get to see, Moon, but I saw Entwistle, and just to be able to hear that and see that,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I can't imagine
Next
them
level.
the way they are now. I know they're older now, and that's what it is. But it's like that. I
But it's still good. Like, I caught them the last time they went around too, because I used to roadie as well at one point too,
oh wow,
so I got to be, uh,
wow,
part of a few dates on that watching it from front of house, sitting at the mixing board and it was awesome. It was just freaking awesome because for me, they just were such, um, an influence on me.
yeah. But they made me want to be
Yeah.
a musician. I mean, they're one of the
Yeah.
like besides Hendrix, like
Oh, yeah.
Hen Hendrix was like I was looking at all of it. I love Hendrix,
Oh, yeah.
but I like the Who, like Mitch and Moon, Mitch
They
Mitchell.
invented arena rock. They
Yeah,
were
those guys
the
are just
first badasses, like, "I'm gonna blow shit
badasses,
up."
just blowing it up. It's
Yeah,
yeah, I can't. It's like I'm looking at drummers. Like every time I was in a band, like, can you play more like Moon or Mitch?
yeah. Oh,
Because I
yeah.
was always telling my guys, I don't really want the Ringo.
No.
I don't want like I want that dynamic kind of explosion.
Yeah,
I want you like rolling through the whole song. like that's how I kind of would write because
No.
that's what I liked
Yep.
about
Yeah, Keith Moon is number 1 for sure. Every time I get into a project, it's like, okay, like, I like busy drummers, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think every song needs a drum solo, period.
I
I'm a
want
guitar
time.
player that probably should have been a drummer, I think.
I don't like timekeeping. I mean, I can respect it, right? I can go back and look at like Motown songs,
Yeah,
and drummers are very precise, and the cool thing about the Motown guys, it's very
pocket.
precise. But when you listen to it, they would throw things on the cymbal and some of the other percussion that were a lot more complicated than what it appeared to be.
Oh, yeah,
That
oh, absolutely.
so
Like,
that, but it seemed like they were just keeping the beat, but there's a lot more going on. But when it's just keeping the beat, then it's boring to me.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, but you go watch guys like Dennis Chamberlain and stuff, back in the day, like, holy, what a beast of a drummer,
Beast, or
and it
even
just
like James
just sounds
Brown.
like pocket drumming, but it's just like, what are you doing back there? It's unbelievable. Just
James Brown and like funkadelic drummers and like
oh,
yeah,
next level,
yeah, it's a
next
total
level.
next level.
Yeah, yeah, and again, like, that's, for those that know that a lot of that stuff is live off the floor, like, it's, like, in the moment, right? Not
Yeah,
saying they don't practice their beans off, we all do,
well, they
but
do. Yeah, everyone puts their 10,000, 20,000 hours in, but to get it, to get down, you get their mastery,
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But once you have it, then you got it, right? And so then that's where the experimentation happens. Like that's where you break the rules. Like that's where you start trying things. That's why I love the bands that would like, they go in there and they experiment. And it kind of like it's like you said, when you're feeding off everybody's in the room
Yeah,
and you're feeding off each other and you come with an idea. Like you got like a guy like Pete. Pete would have the whole damn song.
yep,
Pretty much, he would just do the whole freaking thing. I've heard his demos.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
got his demos, and
cool.
and but when he gave it to Entwistle, like the bass line he wrote is not what ended up on the record. Like Entwistle's line ends up on the record.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Whistle wrote a lot of their music.
yeah. Because he would reimagine it. Pete would come in with what he thought, like the bass structure of it, but it's now nowhere as complex as what Entwistle came on, what he felt from it,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then Daltrey's version of the vocals. And sometimes they would decide it actually needs Pete.
Right.
Like you listen to like, you listen to like Who's Next, and there's some songs like they have versions that have Daltrey on it,
Yeah.
but they actually went with Pete because
Yep.
Pete actually fit the tone
The
of the
song
song.
better. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
have to make choices, and that's
Yeah.
an artistic choice, right?
Well, you know how much those guys hate each other, right? Like, it's just they've been at each other's throats. I can't imagine,
On the free
50
end, like
years
Pete got
50
knocked to the
years in a
ground.
band and you hate
He
each
got
other.
punched to the ground.
Yeah, right?
He said
Yeah,
something that Daltrey didn't like, and he actually got knocked out.
yeah. Wow. I actually watched them fight on stage.
Oh, you saw it
Oh,
recently?
well, their last tour, I mean, they weren't throwing fists, but, like, they stopped the music and they had a full-blown argument on stage. They didn't give a crap that I'm like, "The Coliseum's sold out here, and you guys are just going at each other's throats," you know?
Yeah, well, that kind of reminds me. Well, I've read stories about them, like they would kind of, But Pete has his own ideas, right? He's kind of like high minded, but he's a punk.
Yeah,
He's very high minded, so it's kind of like he's got this conflict within himself.
yeah,
He's doing this very kind of powerful rock music that's got a real punk aesthetic to it, and then he does this progressive, like yes, rock operas,
yeah,
like these like Pink Floydish things. Like what's that? But it works with him. It works. So other people maybe it doesn't work.
yeah. Well, the problem is you got all these geniuses, and so anytime you got a bunch of geniuses in a band, you're gonna have conflict.
Oh yeah, especially when he really knows what he wants, you
Yeah,
know, and you
yeah,
have to fight with him to get like your part in because
yep,
he's come to you with the whole damn song.
yeah, yeah,
Imagine that. Like he actually comes to the session and the whole thing's mapped out.
yeah,
That's crazy, because sometimes that doesn't happen. You get bands that like they work it out, and then maybe there's a piece of it there, but this guy's coming with the whole damn thing.
I don't know, like, most of the bands I've been in, it was always like, I do a majority of the songwriting or actually, it's kinda refreshing that this project I'm in now, it's, I don't have that but it was always forced on me. So it's like it's you're always carrying the whole weight of everything,
If you have to carry the whole way, yeah, if you end
Yeah.
up having to write everything,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
but sometimes I guess, you like, do you love it or hate it? Like, it's a love-hate relationship. Like, if you've got that if you've got the vision
yep.
to actually do it, like, where some people don't have the full vision of that song, they got a piece of the song.
Yep.
But if you're the kind of guy that's like the primary songwriter, like a Lennon McCartney type of guy, like a Robbie Robertson type of guy, like a
Mhm.
Pete Townsend type of guy, I actually got the whole vision.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty magical. Actually, if I knew we'd be talking about the Who so much, I would have I got it in the other room there, but a buddy of mine, he has a store that, sells collectibles like records and, old vinyl and old collectibles, rock
Rock
collectibles.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and so he just gave me a 1982 Who promotional poster. So it wasn't a
Oh,
poster for sale, it was one they would actually use to the Coliseums at that time, to
oh
the
wow.
promoters of that. Yeah, and it's freaking awesome. I'm like, "Shut up, take my money." It's like, I
Like,
have to have
it's
it.
like hard. Is that from its hard era?
Pardon me?
The album was it like that? It's hard era.
Yeah. Where they got the bad haircuts, the 80s
Yeah,
haircuts.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a new wave haircuts.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell their stylist should have been shot at that point. Yeah. But,
Yeah,
oh,
sometimes.
it's pretty darn cool. It's pretty darn
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool to be like, because you've been like involved, like you said, you've been like at all different levels. Because you're like I was interested in like what were you doing with Green Day?
Oh, so, like every band, not every band was big when they started, you know what I mean? And, I was in a punk band at the time, actually a hardcore punk band. So it was kinda awkward that, we ended up on the same bill, you know? But, they were on a smaller label, in San
Oh, before they
Francisco.
got to the bigger label, so they
Yeah.
blew up.
I think it was called Sonic Onion or something like that. God, I'm really texting my memory here. But, yeah, so, we played a few shows with them for sure. And, it's funny because, we had kind of a bigger following, so they actually opened for us. And, where it got ugly is, they didn't match the bill. So, because like I said, we were hardcore and they were kinda, "Girl, I
Poppy,
love you, Poppy."
poppy punk, yeah.
And so, the crowd didn't go over so good with them and started winging beer bottles and all this stuff, and they
Oh
got this one show, they got about 3 songs in, and, Billy just he walked off the stage, and I don't blame him, but at the same time, as a promoter should have been shot because 'cause I'm like, well, for one, look who got the last laugh.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they did pretty good for themselves, but, like, they shouldn't have been booked with us, like, completely
yeah.
different
People gotta
genres.
have some kind of situational awareness of like does this fit the scene?
Yeah, like, you wouldn't book, Taylor Swift with Slayer, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
it
yeah,
just totally
like
different crowd.
yeah, we got the wrong vibe
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, but, later years, I got into another band that, was doing more of the poppy punk sort of thing, and we went pretty far with that, and, that would have been a better fit for sure, like,
Yeah.
I got to play with a lot of actually, at that time, bigger bands, and we were doing some pretty good stuff at that time too, but, like, unfortunately for me, like, I did the rock star lifestyle, like, that we all know. I'm not so terminally unique as I'm just like everybody else, and, got sucked up
There's
in
the
the lifestyle.
pressure is the pressure of, like, touring, because like, really, musicians, I don't know if people realize, like, to make money, you really have to tour hard. If
Yep,
you're not a big band, you gotta be on the road a lot,
yep.
'cause that's how
It's
you make your
very
money,
hard. It's
right?
extremely hard. Like, you're not eating properly, you're not sleeping properly. You go out, you play a show, and you're just everybody's hero, and you're amped right up, and then you come back to your hotel room, and there's nobody there.
Yeah, how is
And
that? 'Cause it's like a
it
like a
it's like,
crash.
an
It's like a
emotional, like, roller coaster,
mhm,
and it gets pretty lonely, like, 'cause, you know, yeah, you can, have some fun on the road if you get my drift, but, like,
yeah, yeah.
it 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 gets really old after a while because like, you don't even know who I am. Like,
Yeah, well, it's kinda like your stage self,
yeah,
and
it's
you're
it
driving all day to get to a show, or you're doing shows to back, and you presenting this image.
Yeah,
The
and they're in
stage
love with
stuff.
that image. They're not in lo you know, like, "You don't even know what my favorite color is," you know, like
You don't know the depth of who you really are.
Yeah, so it gets old after a while, and, like, like, you start to it starts to eat at your soul. It really does, so it's like, "Oh, another, bunch of drug addict, musicians." It's like, well, you don't know how that life is hard, man. It's not an easy go,
It's
and
hard to
so
present. Like you get caught up in like I see like, when I've talked to like actors,
yeah.
they can get caught up in the same kind of thing
Oh,
because
I've
everybody
seen it.
sees
Oh,
them as
yeah.
X,
Yep.
but that X is not who they are.
No, it's just a character they're playing.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's like some people get into like, Bowie was famous for kind of being method acting in terms of he'd stay I've read stories that he stayed as Ziggy during the Ziggy Stardust tour.
Yeah,
He stayed in character during the whole damn tour.
yeah, and then
He
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 just
could
stopped it. He
he
just
just
stopped.
stopped it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what that's not exactly the best solution either.
No, no, but it's like and then you start to slip into obscurity, right? It's like so there's two sides of musicianship, and I'm sure you know this, but, like, like, when you're struggling musician, nobody supports you,
Mhm.
When you get a real job, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Then, if you're lucky enough and you break and you make it for yourself, next thing you know, who the hell does that guy think he is?
Yeah, you're too much.
Right?
Like,
You
what
you
like
and so you can't win. Everybody
yeah,
hates you all the
you're the
time.
host or you're
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, and it's like and then the people that love you are not, like I said, like, they don't know you. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah,
And
'cause you become somebody else. I mean, you have to present this image,
yeah,
and that image is usually not you. It's a hyper version of what people expect,
mhm,
right? So,
and
like,
you always gotta be on. It doesn't they don't
yeah,
care if you ate a bad meal and now you got food poisoning. They don't care if you're tired. They don't care, like,
you
"Hey,
gotta
I've been
give that
waiting all month for you to come to town. You're here.
you gotta
Entertain me."
present. You gotta
Yeah,
present like you were in the video. You gotta present like you're way on the album cover, what we saw you on TV.
yep,
You gotta present that, like a Jagger swagger,
pretty
you know?
well,
You
pretty
gotta you
well.
gotta do
You
that,
gotta be
and
on all the time, and
yeah,
it's really hard, and then the other end is like, okay, so you look for support, like, maybe you get into a relationship with somebody, and you're like, "Okay, well, I got someone that is there for me," kinda thing. Well, they love you because you're a musician, they love you because of who you are, and then when they realize what's involved in being that person,
it's too heavy.
they bail,
Well, it's too heavy, right? It's too
Yeah,
heavy
it's like,
for
"What
them
do
to
you mean? You're
realize.
going on tour again? How long are you gonna be gone?" "I don't know." "When's it I don't know." It's like, you can't have any normalcy to your life, right? And so, the only other, people that get along with that kind of mentality are, like, either, people that work in the industry because they
Yeah, you're like,
understand
you
it.
gotta have a musician partner or
Well,
somebody
not so
that's
much a musician. That never really works out too
yeah, it
good
doesn't
because
work either 'cause you're too competitive.
yeah, exactly. Everybody it's like, it's, battling over the spotlight, Uh, it's all good until someone takes off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not
So, no, that doesn't really work either, but, at the same time, like I was saying earlier, it's like, it's not something that we chose to do. It's something you have to do. It's like a calling. I d I don't know about you, but when it comes to songwriting, it doesn't stop.
no, and it never
Eh
turns off for me. I mean, I just before I
No.
get on, I was spending, like, 2 hours, like, putting a song together. I was
I
just
was on the
it's
phone singing into my phone for my buddy because we're trying to write a bridge right now, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hearing this. Can you just switch it up?"
and it was not something I planned to do. I went back and looked at an old song I wrote,
Yeah.
and it wasn't working. Then I said, "What if I start the multi-track and then I do some overdubs on top of this with this different approach?" Where, like, I added some new parts to it,
Yep.
and then I was like, "Oh, that's it." So then I got into a zone for, like, 2 hours saying, "Yeah, now I found a way to fix this song." And then I was just, like, lost in it, but it wasn't something I was planning on doing.
No.
I just got looped into it, and then, like, that's what happens. It's
And
like, I
then you're
wasn't
done and you're
planning on
done.
doing it, it just happens.
Yeah. 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 And and next thing you know, you're walking out of the studio at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, because I mean, if I didn't have the show, I would today, I would have still been doing that.
Oh, easy. I lose track of time so badly. It's terrible, like that's another thing, I don't know about you, but my favorite line is I'll be 15 minutes. I'll be there in 15.
Like
And I
5
mean
hours
it when
later,
I say it from the bottom of my heart, but you
5
put
hours
a
later.
guitar in my hand and oops, like you said, it just keeps flowing. You can't stop.
Well, he's like a download, or you just. I think we're in touch with our subconscious,
Yeah.
right? So we can pull from like our dream state, and then we can also pull from what's around us, right?
Hmm.
So any little thing, and I've talked to all kinds of authors, all kinds of creators, is like they're very good at picking up stuff and then being able to translate that into the art.
Yeah.
And if you have that, it doesn't really turn off. Sometimes it's more comes in, more gets downloaded, and sometimes it's less, but it's always there.
Yeah.
What I find is I've never really had a drought. It's always been coming in. This the degree of it, I guess, changes.
Yeah. Well, you get flow states for sure, like where it just you can't keep up. It's just coming in so hot, it's just one after another after another. And there's other times you can't write as much, but like it never stops. There's always something. There's always
Yeah.
something. Like I was watching this. This is an old story now. Maybe you know it. If you know it, just stop me. But do you remember who John Tesh is?
Oh, I know him. He was an
Yeah,
Entertainment Tonight guy, and he's like a
that's right.
synth
Yeah.
head. He's a synth guy. I know.
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
He's a
so
keyboard guy. He's a big keyboard guy. Yeah.
okay, so this is an old story. This is what I think this would have been the early 90s, right? And you know, every musician knows this. We all have this invisible antenna on the top of our head, and we're all receivers. And all of a sudden, the universe goes, "Here's that song." And if you're not prepared to get it scratched down right at that moment, it's going to go over your antenna and go to the next person with the
Yeah.
antenna and
Yeah. I
give
get
them
it.
the song, right? So, he's stuck in LA traffic. It's absolute gridlock and it hits him. And he gets so mad, he opens up the car and he starts waving his fist at the sky. He goes, "Are you freaking kidding me? Not now. What am I supposed to do? I'm in freaking traffic."
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, he's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" So he grabs his phone and, back then it was car phones, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
phone.
oh, he just
Yeah,
did it through the car phone.
and he grabs the car phone and he sings it into his answering machine at
Oh,
home.
that's a cool idea. I never thought of
Yeah.
that.
Well, guess what that song was? That was to this day, it's still the theme to the NBA.
Oh, that's the one he came up with?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, that's the
that's
theme to
amazing.
the yeah, but, it's like, I've we all know this. Every
Yeah, it happens
musician
all the
knows
time.
this,
Yeah,
it's
get
like
the
I said, if
download.
I try to write I'm not saying I'm not skilled or whatever, I can write a song for sure, but, like, the best songs I've written were given to me by the universe, not
Yeah.
because I sat down and go, "I'm gonna write a hit,"
Well, if you try to
you know?
write the hit, that's always like the death note,
Pretty well,
that
yeah.
doesn't work. It's like when you're trying to, "You gotta write the hit right now." It's like, "Really?
Yeah, that's like
Really?"
slamming a square peg in a round hole, it
Like,
just
it's not
doesn't
gonna
work.
happen like that, but
No.
it's interesting because I heard there's a story similar to what you said with, like, Hendrix when he was
Okay.
playing on the Chitlin circuit with, like, Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
He was in a studio, and they were putting down one of these soul songs, and he was, a side guy on it, and then
Okay.
suddenly he put down some weird Hendrixian thing. It doesn't fit the song at all,
Yeah.
and they're like the Isley Brothers are like, "Yeah, what the hell what are you doing?" He said, "Well, like, the universe just gave this to me, I had to put it down." It's like he actually said something like that, and they were like, "This guy's crazy," Then he keep on getting kicked out of bands, like Little Richard kicked him out
Yeah.
because he would do stuff like that, because he was getting these downloads, and he's like, "I gotta put it down."
Well, you know the story of Little Richard punching him out, right?
Yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah, yeah. It's an amazing story. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we just get these downloads, and we gotta put it down to the detriment, in his situation, he get fired or get hit or people get mad. He's like, "Well, you're showboating. What
Yeah.
are you doing?" And so it's like it's hard, but, like, I think what's cool about, like, at least for me, it's been always been cathartic. Like, if I get that at my keyboard, or if I get into my Moog or whatever, it's like just sitting there doing sound design.
Yeah.
If I've been going through something hard during the day, it's like just coming up with that sound, to getting this sound down before I even play it. It's like just coming up with a new sound. That to me was like so like working through my issues. It helps me work through things. I don't know if
Oh,
it
yeah.
Does
No,
that
I
help
get
you?
it.
Like, do you like to getting on the guitar or getting in the studio or writing? Does it help you work through things?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. It's like you can't create with thinking about, "I gotta get my laundry done, and I gotta be inspired," or "What is this inspiration going on?" It's like, when you're in it, it's all in. It just consumes every part of you, and it like I said, it's carried me through the worst parts of my life, it's carried through me the best parts of my life, but one thing's always been there, it's always been there.
Constant, yeah.
It doesn't go away, and, like, to the point, like, where it actually almost makes you crazy at times. It can
Yeah,
drive you
yeah.
to insanity.
Well,
It
yeah,
can
you can get so, you kinda can get, like, neurodivergent. Say, it seems like I was talking to my daughter, because she's kind of determined she's neurodivergent. She's a graphic artist. She's
okay,
like a cartoonist.
okay.
Like, and my wife is an artist, and we're all kinda artists, and we all have these kinda quirks where, she would, be working till, like, 5 in the morning on a piece, and then she had to kinda learn from her, like, therapist is like, "Yeah, you can do that, but eventually you have to give yourself, like, a way to, like, step away,"
Yep.
because it was hurting her health. Like, I was all for it until it actually started having a bad health effect. And then we were having to go to the doctor, and they were like, "How do we get her, to be creative, but not be creative to a point where it causes, like, problems with her health?"
Uh, that is $1,000,000 question that I don't think I can answer because I don't know, because I too, it's driven me like, I call it music for mosquitoes,
Mm,
especially when you're doing into mixing, and you're listening to every little nuance that nobody in their free world is gonna hear, but you're gonna hear it, and it'll
mhm.
drive you mental until you get it just
Yeah,
right,
get it
or
right.
massage just right, and it haunts you. It literally haunts you, and it's you know what? Well, who is it? I think it was who is the sculptor? Was it Da Vinci?
Oh, yeah, what Da Vinci was, he did a lot of different things. He was, like, multi-talented.
Okay, I think it was Da Vinci. Don't quote me on this one, but where he worked 2 years on a sculpture and he took a sledgehammer and smashed it. It's not good enough to have my damn name on it, right? And people think he's a nut job, and it is a little crazy to do something like that, but at the same time, I fully understand that. I get that.
Yeah.
I've done that where I've spent so much time on a song, months, and then finally I just throw it away. I'm not releasing this. I can't have my name attached to this. It's
Yeah, that
garbage.
can happen. I mean, there was a famous thing where, like, Prince actually went and erased a track. Like, Susan Rogers, his recording engineer,
Yeah.
was, like, yelling at him, say, "Don't erase it." And they say, "Nope, it's getting erased." He actually
Wow.
it's one of the rare thing, like, he didn't usually do that, at least I ever heard about. That's one where his engineer said this was the one song, he said it was too personal, it was too mu it was like he was, like, worried of what people would think about it, and so he didn't want it to exist, so he wiped it out. And so, like, that can happen, like these artists, they have different motivations, like, you
Yeah.
and that actually a lot of people thought was one, at least the engineer said, "This was one of the best pieces he ever did," and they just wiped it
Wow.
out.
Wow. No, I get it. I get it. Like, and the other thing is if you're not careful, it can completely consume you. So, like you're working so much to create the music, then you're working so much to promote the music, then you're working so much to go out and play the music, and then while you're on the road, you're still writing. And then as soon as you get off, it's like, "Oh, we should take some time off." And nut jobs like me will go straight back to the studio.
Back to writing? Yeah. Yeah, but there's
Where
some people that that's what they did. They had some bands, they'd take 2 years off,
Yep.
but you want one of these people to take the 2 years off.
Well, I mean, there was moments in my career where I did take time off from music, but it was because of, tragedy, really,
Mhm.
like, and it always came back to drugs and alcohol. I was in this one band and, we worked really hard and got it going pretty good, and we got ourselves a deal and the whole 9 yards, and then, drugs and alcohol, my singer, he, uh, he overdosed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and, we were all in a bad way at that time, all of us. I can't just put the blame on him, and it left such a it was hard because I'd known him since we were kids. I knew him for a long time, and so I just stopped doing music for a long time. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I just
That
can't
could be
do this.
really hard because like that would happen with like Mother Love Bone, you
Yep.
know, and then but that kind of sparked like Pearl Jam,
Yep.
and stuff.
Well, it did. What happened is, you know, and unfortunately, my addiction problems increased even more. So because then it's like, you go from up here and then all of a sudden you're nothing, you know?
You almost had it, and then it gets snatched from you. I mean, that must be
Yeah.
really hard that you're on
Yeah.
this thing, you're almost there, and then something like this
Yeah.
whole train wreck happens, and you're like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. So like, and then, like I said, my addiction picked up even more. And then out of the ashes of that band came another band. And that was the one that went even further. Like you said, but, for a few years there, I was, I didn't, I didn't do music professionally. I just stopped. And it was a really hard time in my life for sure.
So you must have been, like, really wondering if you should stay in it, but then, like,
Well,
something
I
brought you
didn't
in.
wanna be in it. I hated everything about it. I just was so bitter, and it's like how crazy my life had become, and relationship ended, typical stuff, because, music, that's what happens with music, right? And,
Yeah, it's very chaotic, yeah. Well, it's like
yeah, it's chaos, yeah, so, and then, like we were talking about earlier, it's not like you got a choice to do this music thing or not. Like,
starts coming back. It probably started giving
it
you
would
those,
never
like,
went away. I tried to shove it away, but I went into a depression, like, so it's like, you
you
have to
were
do it.
forcing it away, but it eventually found its way back.
Well, it's like asking someone, "Hey, man, you know what? I need you to stop breathing for a month. Can you think you could do that?"
Yeah, you can really do it.
That's what asking a musician to not play is, and it doesn't matter what genre of music. If you got it, you
It's
can't.
gonna come back. It's just kinda like you can't hold the dam back.
Yeah,
It's kinda
it,
like be a leak here, a leak there, and then boom, it's kinda come rushing back.
it's a blessing or it's a curse. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but either way, it's there. You know.
But it's like at some point, do you, like, find ways to, I don't know, figure out how to live with it? Like, how to survive it?
Well, this is the other end of it. It's like, we're living in a world that is always telling us, "Hey, you gotta live this way, you gotta do this. If you do this, you'll get that. If you do that, you do this." And you got all these people on social media, and you start comparing yourself and thinking you're
Mhm.
not this or you're not that. And the reality is if you got this curse that we're talking about, you could either curse it for being a curse, or you can just go, "Screw it," and just embrace it
Basically, yeah.
and just take it for all it's worth. And you know what? And when you do, it's the universe kinda opens up doors. It just does. It just fricking does. Like, I get asked all the time, like, "What should I do next? How do we promote this? What do we need to do?" And because I've done the whole gamut, and I do mentor some people, and well, at least musicians that I believe in, and, the reality is like, if the universe wants that song to go, I don't care if you recorded it on a fricking, I don't know, like
Like,
one of those old 1970 tape recorders,
yeah,
okay?
bad, yeah, like,
It's gonna go
it's gonna go.
because I've worked on songs with artists that I thought I would have bet my left testicle. I'm like, "This is gonna be the biggest song on the planet," and it does nothing. And
Mhm.
then there's songs that I've heard, and I'm sure you too, and you're like, "What a piece of crap,"
Yeah,
and
how
next
did
thing you
that
know, it's the largest song in the world,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he's like, it just seems like some things are destined to kinda just get there,
If
and
it's if the
you just
universe
can't.
wants it to go, it's
He
gonna
wants it
go.
to go, it's just gonna blast through and go right to the top.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can push it through, there's a lot of manipulation, and I don't wanna go
Oh,
down
yeah,
that rabbit hole too
yeah.
far, yeah, because I
Like
don't wanna.
payola, like the equivalent of what payola
Yes,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can do that, but you know what? The other end of it it's not gonna have the staying power. It's not gonna be an evermore, you
Yeah,
know?
it's not gonna stay there. It's not gonna be something like we were talking about the classic stuff, the stuff
Yeah,
that resonates, the stuff that's really meaningful.
Yeah.
because there's certain things is that they just spoke to people,
Yeah.
and it's like that's always hard for me today in this kind of world. I'm always looking for the authentic, like vulnerable, really worthwhile. Like I like to listen to people's albums.
Yeah.
I don't want to just hear a single here and there. And I will listen to singles, but to really understand that artist, I want to listen to the body of work because usually the single doesn't represent everything about who they are.
No, but unfortunately, the way the world is now,
It's
we're
harder.
living in a world of singles, and you have to, and it's not the first time it happened. I mean, it happened in the 50s too, right?
Yeah, I've talked about that.
Yeah, like, because unfortunately, people they got the attention span of mosquitoes now. You
Yeah,
know what I
zip,
mean?
zip.
Yeah, for one, and it's just like, give me, and even if you knock it out of the park, I mean, like really knock it out of the park, your shelf life of that song, and I'm talking like a monster hit,
Yeah,
tops 6 months.
yeah, nothing's lasting. Like there used to be songs they would stay on the Billboard like all year or
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh,
years,
yeah.
years. It was but today it's like vapor.
It is, and even like I said, and that's coming from the biggest artists right now, you know, and I blame a lot of this on, streaming services and stuff like that because
Well, their model doesn't really
it doesn't
perpetuate.
work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for the creators. It doesn't work for the consumers.
Yeah, well, because they have different goals. I mean, if you got Spotify, like, not everyone push them down, but it's like they're pushing podcast,
Mhm.
right? Like heavier than they are with music sometimes. It's like what are you pushing? Like what is your
Well,
goal?
the reason they're doing it is people will listen to a podcast from top to bottom, which will hold you on their the platform for what? I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, an
Yeah,
hour.
compared to a 2 minute.
Whereas a 2-minute song, yeah, you're in, you're out, goodbye, thanks, next.
Yeah, so that's why they're pushing that more. But it's like you're
Yeah.
supposed to be a music platform. It's like, so where's the place for music?
Well, it's just like MTV used, where's the music? I thought
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
a
It's like
video show.
I don't want to see some TV show.
Yeah,
I'm looking for like REM on 120 minutes, or I'm looking for,
yeah,
Joy Division. Like
yeah,
I'm a synth head. Like Joy Division was like the early version
yeah,
of New Order,
yeah.
and
Joy
that
Division
was
was rad.
that was like really spoke to me because there's like this post punk.
Yeah,
It's like they brought keyboards and they weren't that heavy. It wasn't like new wave all the way. It was like pre new wave,
yeah. That
and
and
then
Bauhaus was another one that was
yeah,
kinda
it was
out
like
there.
that. Yeah, I was really driven into things like that.
Yeah, that was awesome stuff. Uh, like, eh but the other end of it is, like, what can be done that hasn't been done already? And on one hand, it's like this barrier has come down, so now it's really easy for anyone to get their music out, whereas before there was such a wall to get through to
Yeah,
just to
it's like
even get
Garden
any
State.
attention of A&R rep or anything like that to even hopefully get onto a label, you know, and then you hope that they would get you going, whereas now everything can get out there. But the other side of that argument, and, everyone complained that record labels were terrible and all this stuff, and there's lots of stories of that, but the other end of it is they assured that the stuff that was getting out there was really good.
Yeah, was a gate. It was a
It
gate. There's a certain level like musicianship, certain level production
Yeah.
to get on the radio. You had to have bands that actually could record radio songs.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like being able to go into a recording studio and be able to actually record with a recording engineer and actually get that song right is a talent. If you just do it at home in your DAW and you try to go in a studio, you've never been in a studio, it's a different level of discipline, right? To be able to get
Oh,
that.
100%. 100% it is. But, the big studios, they're kinda dying too, because you can do a lot of the stuff at home that,
Yeah, that
y
worried. Like, what's the level gonna? Like, are we lowering the level, or are there people that are gonna come around like the Todd Rundgren type of mindset? You get these people that are just phenoms,
Yep.
and they just do it, and they just break through because they just got the raw talent to just push through, and then you get this new. You get a Nirvana, you get something happens, and people say, "I want something more honest. I want a punk aesthetic, or I want some kind of new sound." and somebody comes up with it.
Yeah.
I still always believe that, I always kind of roam the underground worldwide looking for things I think that speak to that kind of like what's new, what's really new.
Well, I think I'm almost, I don't think I know. For me, I feel like playing live is the most important thing, period.
Hmm.
Just get out there and play. Do the, like I remember our first tour I ever did in my life. We called it a toilet tour. Our tour bus was my buddy dad had this truck with a camper that sat on the back of the truck.
Oh, that was your tour bus.
That's the tour bus, and
Next time live band,
I
yeah.
don't think we ate the whole tour. We survived on just, alcohol, and one guy would hang on to your back because there was no washroom in the thing, and you kick the door open on the highway, and one guy's holding your back as you're whizzing out out the door,
Oh,
like,
geez.
and we'd sleep in like rest stops on the highway.
Mhm.
We'd sleep on it was just
Yeah.
brutal.
Well, I remember doing that a couple times. I
Oh yeah.
had to drive to New York and do a show and then drive back, and then I'm sleeping in the rest stop.
Oh yeah,
Like 4 in the
unshowered.
morning, 3 in the morning, because
Yeah.
I can't I was trying to drive all the way through back, and it's like, I can't make it. I couldn't make it.
No.
I was, like, zigzagging low. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the life, man. That's the what if you're passionate and you're doing it. Yeah, I did that one club. I drove 6 hours to get to this club.
Oh, wow. One show for one show.
Yeah, but that's what you do. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's just like you're doing it because you wanna get out there,
Yep.
and, like, I think it is yeah, the scene type of thing is how I think music gets the salvation of music is when people build these scenes and you get these live bands. That's where the magic happens from the like, you see
100%.
these live bands, like, these live acts is where the next good big thing's gonna come from. It always comes from that.
It always does because there's still a magic that can happen. Well, it does happen. When you go see someone live, you cannot, even when you watch it on tape, like, even when
Yeah,
it's filmed, like, and I've watched lots of concert footage, all my favorites, and it's amazing. But the first thing that always comes to my mind, what would it have been like to be there?
yeah,
You know, 1972 Zeppelin,
yeah,
like
right.
what, at the height of their career, like what would that have been like to be in that crowd, like,
I saw Nine Inch Nails at that first Woodstock, you know,
okay.
the one where Green Day was getting to throwing the mud all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was actually at that,
Oh,
and,
cool.
and seeing Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails that night, like, that was like, "Oh my god, those
Yeah.
guys are really kicking it," and, I just, like I did, seeing live shows, I mean, I saw Sonic Youth, like, in Northampton.
I
I
got a
was
good
actually
Sonic
able
Youth
to be on
story.
stage because I was with this photographer guy that was taking he was always watching all the bands that came into Northampton, he
Okay.
would take pictures for the college paper. So he got me a press pass, and I was on stage with, with those guys, and I was, watching them, and it was so cool to see that kinda energy coming from a band like that because they were really, they're doing it because they love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I got to meet Keanu Reeves through them. We were doing a video with them. Well, like, we were on that tour, as you will, and one of the guys in the band, his cousin, back when rock videos was still a big thing.
Yeah.
He was really well known for. He had all kinds of awards for his cinematography for rock videos, and he goes, "Hey, since you guys are down here, you guys want to be in a Sonic Youth video, right?" Oh, hell yeah, So at the time I had dreadlocks and stuff, I looked the part, so they
Yeah.
loved me and they threw me in there right away. And at the time I was married to this woman, and uh, her cousin, he used to play in a band called the Hypnotics.
Mm.
And for, remember that band Jet?
Mhm.
Yeah. So they basically ripped off Hypnotics completely. They invented that sound. They were on a huge tour. They were on the same label as the Cult, and they went on tour
Oh,
with
yeah, I know the
the Black Crows and stuff like that at the
Oh,
time.
yeah. Yeah, I know the
And short story long is the mutual contact was the drummer, who was my wife's cousin at the time, was
Oh,
good friends with Sonic Youth, And so then, all of a sudden, they took a liking to me. So I'm hanging out with them. And the next thing you know, who rolls in is Keanu Reeves because he's friends with them. And it just one thing led to another. It was it was a pretty awesome experience. But
Like yeah, the 6 degrees of separation. You find that
totally,
you get
yeah,
these connections, and you're like, wow, it's like that. And then you start really, yeah, it's interesting because like, if you get yourself out there in the world,
yeah.
that's how and then this whole generation of like maybe the DAW home producers, if they don't get in the world, like
Well,
they're gonna miss
I
out on those themes.
I know there's a lot of producers, young musicians that are doing the internet thing and they're getting a following and all that stuff, and it's all great. But like you said, it's not the same as face to face.
Yeah.
It's not the same as shaking hands and kissing babies, so to speak.
Yeah, you kind of got to be out there because you get these opportunities. Like if you get into a scene, like you play a club, there's a bunch of bands there.
Yeah,
You meet somebody you didn't expect to, and then it's like, hey, you want to be on my album. You want to go on
yeah,
tour with a band. You get these opportunities. Like it might be a guy there who's doing videos, and he helps you get a video for your band, or an artist that helps you do the cover for your record or for your cassette, or what. You meet people in these scenes.
hundred
And
percent.
if you don't meet these people, you don't get the opportunities to kind of cross pollinate. And it's always like that scene of like all. If you're in this art scene, you're gonna meet like-minded people,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get these opportunities that you didn't expect, and that's kind of what you want. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what you need.
Well, and the other thing is everybody's trying to do everything safely,
Yes,
and
safety is the
and
number one thing.
there is there when you just go, when you're young and stupid and you just go and you're like, I'll worry about it later, and you don't really think about things through that well.
Yeah.
That's kind of when the magic happens, you know?
Yeah, a lot of times it's like you have to let it abandon, abandon to the wind, because and people are so, they want to be safe. I get people trying to be safe, but art is always on the edge. Like anytime you're trying to do something new, right? The people are gonna hate it. As soon as you do something that's not in the rut, or the same loop all the time, right? People are gonna say, "Well, that's not how you do it." Well, yeah, well, I don't want to do it the way everybody does it. But
No.
it's like, we're kind of the algorithm world, this tech bro world,
Yeah.
likes people to just repeat the same damn thing over and over. And I think people are getting tired of it. I think I've run into young people saying, "Well, you know what? I'm going back and I'm listening to vinyl. I'm listening
I
to
see it all the time. It's awesome. We were just at our rehearsal spot, and there's this young guys, and it's just awesome to see. They're cranking Marshalls and stuff like this, and I'm like, right
bring
on,
bands
man.
back." Yeah, I want to play a Les Paul.
Yeah, like you guys are giving her. It's
I want a Marshall amp. I want an orange amp.
yeah, right. And there's this whole movement, like you said, like it's going the opposite way, where it's like like you're saying, you play analog synths. You know what? There's a huge movement on that. People don't want digital anymore. I want
I
old
want a
school
sampler.
analog.
I love doing like CV, analog, mini Moog, Oberheim, classic,
Because
ARP.
they're sick. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's sick. I mean,
Until
what they
you
can
hear
do,
it with your own ears, you don't know it.
and
And then when
they're
you
fat.
hear it, you
Well, they're
can't go
fat.
back.
Well, the DX7 was kind of like the death of like synths to me, because the problem with the DX7, the people the engineers loved it
Yeah.
because it didn't take up the bandwidth, because the digital doesn't have like a Moog, it takes up a lot of signal. It's
Yeah.
heavy as hell.
Yeah.
ARPs are heavy as hell. Oberheims, they actually they take a lot of the bandwidth of the recording, and then people like, oh, I want to tone that down. Well, you tone it down, you lose something, right? You get this kind of tinny, like digital stuff, and that's fine if you want to do orchestration, you want to do pianos or whatever. But if
Yeah.
you want to do something like Emerson, Lake Palmer, or like, you want to blow out, like, yes, doing those runs that they used to do on the mini Mogs.
So
There's something
sick.
about
So
that that's
sick.
sick, and you can't do that at the DX7.
No, you can't. You cannot. You cannot. There's magic there. It's magic, and it's like there's this whole movement now where like these kids, I don't know if you've been seeing it, but there's a whole movement now of anti-AI. People are getting fed up with
I'm fed up with
AI videos, AI music, everything, and they're
AI music. I'm just like, no.
yeah, and it's going full circle, and it's coming back to, I want to see analog. I want to see live shows. I want to play vinyl. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't
And
want to go to a show and somebody's backing tracks is locking them into the song that I heard on the radio exactly note for note.
well, see, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know if you know, but I'm a producer on a show. Um, it's called Real Music Live,
Mhm.
and we already had a test airing on well, a couple actually on NBC, and that's the whole purpose of the show. You have to play live. You're not allowed backing tracks. You're not allowed
Yes. Yes.
any vocal tuning, nothing. And
Nothing.
so every episode we have 3 signed bands and then 1 unknown band.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
but that's
that's
the
like
thing.
bringing MTV back.
Yeah, but it's raw. You're
Which, like,
not
even better, it's like you're live MTV. You're like a live, like Ed Sullivan live, you know?
basically, yeah, you have to play. If you can't play or you can't, then you shouldn't be on the show.
Well, that's what I think what's needed. You know, I
Yeah.
really believe that
And it's not a talent show, and it's not a
yeah,
competition, by the way. Like, I don't believe in music as a competition. It's not a sport.
no,
Yeah.
that well, you're not trying to pull that thing because like, that gets
No,
annoying too. Because like,
I can't
you
stand
know,
that.
but to me, I was like, I'm always looking for that new thing, you know, the new that like that somebody's trying to reinvent something or somebody's just being themselves. Like that's why I was drawn to like Paul Westerberg, replacements and Husker Du and anything on SST.
Oh,
Uh,
SST was awesome. Like,
yeah, I just like Sub Pop before Nirvana, like all the stuff that was on Sub Pop. I like that's what I want to hear. I want to hear people trying to do it,
yep.
right? Whether or not they're perfect, I don't really care if they're perfect. That wasn't the
No.
point.
Music's not meant to be perfect.
Yeah, that's the problem. You get these people. It's like, oh, I gotta put this on the click track.
Yeah,
Like, why
overproduced.
can't you do it without the click track?
Well, they were even using the clicks in like in the
Back in the
60s
day.
release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it, but like some people couldn't do it.
Yeah.
but I get it. Like I understand like Brian Wilson level of perfection, or you get the Phil Spector perfection level. Like okay, I understand that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
People want to do that nth degree. Yeah, and that's kind of what people are where they are right now. But at least like Spector, like it still felt it was like that was analog. They were still people playing like instruments. It wasn't all MIDI, tied to a click track machine. Somebody just typed the note in.
Yeah.
They didn't play the note. They typed it on the grid. And like it's not the same as actually playing it.
No. 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 So that's why we started the show. It was created by all musicians. You know what I mean? And by the way, shameless plug, please go on YouTube and go over to Real Music Plus,
Real music plus.
and you can see there's a bunch of shots that we've done from the show. Brought it down, so you don't have to sit through the whole show, just the little media
So
clip.
if people go to your star.com, can they get to that from there?
No, it won't be on there. I wear many hats there. I guess I could put it there. I have it's one more thing to do on my to don't list, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
trying to give people a clear shot at it, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, but like and of course if you guys want to follow me over on Facebook too, just look up Ray Ray Star, or just Google me. I come up everywhere, and it'll be listed there. But I get bombarded all the time by people who want to be on the show and stuff too, because it's a pretty darn cool thing,
That's a very cool thing because that's the kind of thing
Mm.
I'm hoping there's more of that. They're like the vinyl resurgence.
Yeah.
People wanting to play guitar again.
Oh
People
well,
want, you know,
believe it or not, guitar sales are up.
yeah, that's what I've heard. Like
Yeah.
people are kind of rebelling against some of this kind of artificial saccharine music, which
Yeah.
maybe people don't know saccharin. Maybe it's like aspartame for them.
Yeah. 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 Just
But
pumping out press stuff, but it's um like you know, like how many times have you been to a concert where it's just like you completely got moved? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because, you know, like unfortunately, you know, I'm not gonna name any names here, but you know, like I did roadie for a while too, and you know, you'd see behind the stage, you know, they got these computer stations where they got like 3 computers and like 3 people at each station, basically running all these backing tracks and stuff, and that it can switch within a micro millisecond if one system fails to the next. So it
Yeah, so
doesn't.
they can maintain
They
like
can,
that.
yeah, and a lot of them are busy doing so many dance moves, they're not even singing. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's the thing is, like, are
Mm.
you a show person
Yeah.
or are you a musician? I
Mhm.
mean, I understand dancers, like, you're dancers, that's fine, you're a dancer,
Yeah.
right? And
And
there's
it's
a
still impressive to see, but
it's impressive, but it's like, what is I
what
remember
am
when
I watching? Yeah.
James Brown and then, like, Funkadelic, those guys are doing it and they're really singing.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of cocaine. That's
It's like, yeah, but at least they were
yeah.
doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah. But,
But
yeah, well, he was the king, like, come on.
yeah, just
Yeah.
doing it. I mean, it's like there's something about, like, if you're gonna really do it, like Prince is like, he's like, my mic's on. Like, I'm actually doing it. Yeah, he
Wow, Prince was an anomaly. That guy
was
was just a genius.
he's just crazy as hell. It's like, but it's like the fact that you're gonna put that much into it, right? That's one is like, where's the people want to put that James Brown level, that Hendrixian level? I mean, Hendrix was like, everybody's like, oh, he worked freaking to himself to death, really.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at the amount of work he did,
Yep.
like
In
66
a
or 7,
short period of time. Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's a massive amount of work.
Well, I mean, there's a famous story where his, girlfriend came to visit him in Hawaii when he had 1 day off from the tour, and he took a rock and he broke his foot on purpose so he could have another day off because he was so exhausted, and they wouldn't give him a day off because he
Yeah, because
signed.
he was like, he had to pay for Electric Lady, right? So he's like touring
Excuse me,
a
sorry.
heavy tour to pay for Electric Lady because he wanted to have that studio. So he's kind of working himself to death
Yep.
to pay for it.
Yep.
And then he never really got to use it, you know. So
No.
it's like it's such a freaking thing. It's like not that many Hendrixian songs are actually written out of Electric Lady. They came
No.
from the other studios. But
Yes.
that's just the way it goes. But yeah, we're kind of over. But we've had such a good conversation. I
Yeah.
always tend to
Awesome.
bleed a little bit. But we do have your Instagram and your website, rayraystar.com, and we do
Yeah.
encourage everybody to click those. It's been a great conversation. We were very wide ranging, focusing on art. Uh, and I hope everybody can go and check your catalog, check everything you're doing, and support you by clicking on your link and just seeing further details than what we were able to talk to today here.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, like, if, feel free out there, you know, you wanna guys, message me or something like that, you know, like, I'm always, willing to help artists and direct them in right directions, you know what I mean? We didn't talk about it today, but, you know, I'm connected with labels as well and stuff like that, so,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah, sounds good, man. Well, it was very thanks for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it, man. And yeah, I could talk music all day long. So it's a good thing you have a time limit.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I just love that's a topic that we both are kind of born to do.
yeah,
But
yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
being on the show tonight.
Excellent. Take care.